Man, it's a sad day right now. Tay-K is getting life pretty much in prison. And if you don't believe me, check out this clip right here.
80 years, that's how long Texas rapper Tay-K will spend behind bars after a jury found him guilty of murder on Monday.
Tay-K, or Tamor McIntyre, was convicted for the death of Mark Saldivar, who was killed in a San Antonio Chick-fil-A parking lot in 2017. Just before 10 o'clock last night in the 187th courtroom, McIntyre stood before the judge as Judge Stephanie Boyd read the sentence.
You're still alive. You still can improve yourself. Your family can still visit you. But the complainant in this case is deceased. And you need to internalize that the complainant in this case is deceased and that his family is never going to see him again.
McIntyre was already serving 55 years for killing 21-year-old Ethan Walker during a 2016 home invasion in Tarrant County. Judge Boyd determined the sentences would run concurrently, and McIntyre can have no contact with Saldivar's family other than for legal matters.
And it's crazy. I knew Tay-K was just going to get something so harsh. They were not going to let him off easily, because what he did, honestly, is ridiculous. Like, the shit he was doing, especially when he was in his prime, on the run and doing the dash and all this crazy stuff, he should have been. I'm surprised he didn't get the death penalty, to be honest with you, especially doing that in Texas. You're from Texas and you playing these games. I'm so shocked he didn't get the death penalty, but I'm happy because I don't want to see him get put down. But natural life isn't really too much better. So let's just go ahead and get straight into what Tay-K did and who he is. Because if you don't know, Tay-K is Tamor Trayvon McKinstry. I'm sure that's how I'm saying it. He is a former rapper, and you know, he was coming up in Texas, but his career wasn't getting any traction. So you know what Tay-K decided to do? He decided to live the street life. This actually happened in 2016 when the original incident occurred, because you know, in 2016 the Chicago drill era was in. Everybody wanted to be a street guy, everybody wanted to be a shooter, everybody wanted to be a killer, and that pretty much influenced the next generation of rappers and artists. So now we have people that were coming out not like that at all, from good homes, which I'm pretty sure Tay-K is from. I'm not saying he lived in a mansion in the suburbs, but I don't think he was this broken household, how people try to portray as they seem like they're from. So in 2016, Tay-K basically participated in a home invasion. He ran to someone's house in Mansfield, Texas, and targeted a residence believed, well, he thought, to be containing drugs and money. So that's what he did. 2016, he did a kick door. He thought he had some guns. He thought he had some drugs in there. He thought he was gonna get away with an easy lick. And lick went wrong. He had to catch a body. Now, the person that he unfortunately was Ethan Walker, was 21, and he tried to defend his house and his possessions during the robbery and ended up getting popped for it. Now, as a result of this, Tay-K eventually had to go on the run. Now, because of him going on the run, that's what caused him to get a lot of notoriety, and that's what caused him to actually get a lot of fame, because while he was on the run, he dropped a song called The Race.
We could get up, but you don't wanna go that way. That way.
And before he even did the race, he was on house arrest for trial and had cut off his ankle monitor and did the dash. So he was all the way living bad. He was on an ankle monitor for the home invasion / robbery / murder that he just committed, and he thought it was a good idea in the state of Texas to cut his band and go on the race. So for about I want to say 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months, a few months, he was on the run. He went all the way from Texas to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and then he was apprehended in June 30th of 2017 by the U.S. Marshals. And I remember when the U.S. Marshals swooped him up, it was like they got a goddamn trophy. It was like they got the Hall of Fame award for that, because they was parading him around. They was saying, don't try this, don't do this at home, and it was making him look bad, which he deserved, because he was showing his ass. In the video for the race, he had his own wanted poster. He was still doing crimes while he was still on the run. He was doing a lot of crazy stuff, posting about it, making it go viral. And you know, when the police look bad, they don't like that. So he was trying to make the police look bad, and he actually did make the police look bad. So no one liked that at all. But there's also another murder that he committed while he was on the run. So he's on the run for a body, breaking and entering, robbery, all types of stuff. Then he cuts off his ankle monitor, goes on the run again, and this time when he's on the run, guess what he does? He commits another murder. So this time, while he's evading authorities, he attempted to rob a photographer named Mark Anthony Saldivar. He tries to rob him for his equipment outside of a Chick-fil-A in San Antonio, Texas, but during the time of the altercation, you know, he had to do a little struggle, and then Tay-K eventually shot and off the guy. Now, during this time, his girlfriend actually took the stand and snitched on him.
And Tamor took out his gun and pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag, so they all started hitting him, and Tamor was hitting him with the gun, and the whole time I didn't look back, but when I did, I saw his face, And I started telling them to let him go.
Why he decided to commit crimes with a female, I'll never understand these guys, but that's what he decided to do, and now he has to reap the consequences of that. So actually, he had to fight 2 cases because of this. So while he was apprehended in June 30th of 2017, in 2019, he was charged for his first murder, his home invasion and murder. In July 2019, he was convicted of murder and 2 counts of aggravated robbery. He received a 55-year sentence for the murder and an additional concurrent sentences for the robbery charges. So if you don't know what concurrent means, that's basically saying he's running all his charges at the same time. So instead of doing 55 years, then after 55 years, you gotta do another 20 years for this charge. It's all gonna be put under the same time. So basically he's got a 55-year flat time that he has to serve right now. So that was in 2019. But for the other murder, he was still trying a case for that this entire time while he was still in the news, while he's still going to court, while he's getting cut up in prison. While he's getting cut up and beat in prisons because there's videos and photos of him in court with slashes on his neck, slashes on his face. So there's things that he had to deal with while doing this because you're claiming all this murder, blood stuff, and now you're going to prison with real murderers and real thugs. They're going to have to see what's to you. That was the first murder. And the way it just happened in April of 2025, we actually just got the verdict for TK's second murder of the photographer that he attempted to rob outside of San Antonio, Texas in a Chick-fil-A. So what actually happened was the judge, after his girlfriend snitched on him, after everyone threw him under the bus because why would you do that and make songs about it, they honestly said, you know what, TK, we're gonna give you 80 years. Now the 80 years is gonna get served concurrent with the 55 years, so he's really serving an 80-year sentence by himself. But it's better because maybe he might get out of jail when he's 90, 100, and he might have like a couple years, a few months of freedom before he ultimately passes away. But his life is over. His life is over. He has 80 years in prison. You're not getting out, bro. And on top of 80 years, like, first of all, we not finna even act like he can do a retrial, like he can appeal this. It's over with. Secondly, you got 80 years in prison and you already, let's say you're 20, bro. You're done. That's a life sentence. You're not getting out till you're 100. Are you gonna live in prison till you're 100 with subpar facilities, subpar food, subpar everything? You're not gonna make it till you're 100. And on top of that, we have to hope that he doesn't get any extra charges for fighting for his goddamn life because you're still in prison. So what did we learn from this? Rapping is cool, but rapping and talking about bodies and doing some shit, especially when you're not like that and you have no reason to do this shit, you have no street knowledge at all, will get you something similar to this. 80 years in prison. 80 years in prison because he wanted some clout and he wanted to be cool. And yeah, you blew up, you got a record deal and all that, but let me tell you something. After your initial mixtape that dropped, you never dropped any more music. You're never getting out of prison to record more music. You're done. The labels abandoned you, everybody abandoned you. You're gonna do 80 years by yourself, bro. Standing 10 toes by yourself. 80 years, bro. 80 for doing some stupid shit. I'm surprised he didn't get capital murder. Didn't get the death penalty. But hey, I'm happy for him. At least he gets to spend out the rest of his years alive. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be behind bars than in the grave. So you got 80 years to rehabilitate yourself, figure things out. Maybe you can do some programs. Maybe you might get out when you're 70, 60, 70, 80. You know what I'm saying? But your life is pretty much over with. So I don't want to say shout out to TK, but the things he was doing was unforgivable. And honestly, I hope it's a lesson to all the youth out here. Stop doing stupid shit because it's not going to end up how you think it's going to end up, man. It's going to end up bad for you.